people, how we doing this morning? This glorious morning. I don't know, we've done like 2 or 3 loads to Dallas, and we did, 2 loads to Houston. Now we did another one down to Dallas, and we are heading back. They're paying for the Deadhead. This load, the meat load that I took, actually pays really good. Pays over, $3,000 for 400 and something miles, 450 miles. So, it pays good. It pays for the Deadhead back. So, and that's what we're doing now. They wanted me to get a Kroger load to come down here. That's why they were paying for the Deadhead. But as it turned out, I'm not going to be able to make it because I had to stop. Coming back out of Fort Worth. This is Decatur. This is where I stopped at the Quick Trip in Decatur on 287. And we had to take a 10 here. And we just got fuel. So, I informed them last night. I was adding up my time, right? And well, the times just didn't look good. The time did not look good because I'm still 6 hours from the plant. And if I were to pick up that meat load today, that's due at 2 o'clock in the morning. Alright. If I were to pick up that meat load today, it's 6 hours to the plant, it's 7 hours to Keller. So that's a total of, 13 hours driving. So there's no way that I could get that load there on time. I informed them of that yesterday, and I don't know if he's going to do anything about it. I mean, he should, but we'll see, because I'm not going to make it. There's no way. We'll see. I'm trying to do I just did a pre-trip, and I got fuel, so I need to log both of those. Ah, crap. I just put pre-trip. I wish there was an edit button on here. I'll do it again. I'm sure DOT knows, if you just put pre-trip, they know what you're talking about. But I was told you put pre-trip, what happened on the pre-trip? Put pre-trip okay is what you need to put, because some of them will let you get away with it, but some DOT that pull you over, they'll say, well, what happened on the pre-trip? You didn't record anything that happened. So I had to put pre-trip okay. And then when you get fuel for your truck, you need to write fuel down for your truck. I got fuel. So that's what we did. Now, we've had the last 7 days off, people, and I've been busy. I haven't been able to record. I apologize for that. But I'll show you guys later. I was going to put my truck in the shop. I was going to work on it myself, really. And I need to get out of here before that DOT man comes back out. Right here. He's parked right here. Right there. Because I have a bumper light out on that side.
Turn right on South Trenchard Street,
then
take the second right.
To replace it because I've been so busy. Now, what I was going to do, I told you I was going to put the truck in the shop, work on it myself, right? But right before I was going to do that, when I brought that load back to town, I come back from Houston.
Turn right on South Trenchard Street, then take the second right.
2 days before that, I got back to the house on the 15th, I think, and I was going to take off on the 17th through the 21st to get the stuff done I needed done. And
turn right on West Halsell Street.
Well, it turns out, because I was going to do slack adjusters, I was going to buy a new tire and rotate my tires, do what I had to do on that, and replace a couple of other things. And when I was down in Houston, I started getting a code. I started getting an SCR code. So I was kind of forced to that guy had a tight turn, but I think he got it done. He hopped the curb a little bit. But I was looking in the rearview mirror to see if I could back up, but there is a truck behind me. Maybe that DOT guy, I don't know. Yep. Please don't pull me over, mister. I'm just starting my day out. But where
Turn
was
right
it?
at the traffic light.
Yeah, I was.
In 1/4 mile, take the ramp ahead to US 81 North, then take the ramp ahead.
See where that DOT guy went. I think it's still behind me. No, he's still at the light. He's at the light, rather.
Take the ramp ahead, then take the
All right,
ramp
I need
ahead.
to get in the middle lane because I'm not turning left. I don't want to be stuck. Because it's morning time and there's a bunch of cars coming from that light behind me. But, where was it? Yeah, I went down to Houston, and while I was down there, I started getting an SCR code. Now, I do have a PDI that can clear the codes, but the code was just coming back. And, so when I got to the house, you know, I told them, look, man, I can't take this other load because I was supposed to do another load before the 17th or run down to Fort Worth and back. But, man, I could not do that because I didn't want my truck shutting down while I was under that load, you know, and that's what I told them. I said, well, I'm getting an SCR called basically DPF, and if I keep running it, for one thing, it's going to shut my truck down,
Take the ramp ahead,
and
then take
for the next
ramp
thing,
ahead.
it could mess my truck up if I choose to run it with that code going. So, I told them, you know, my
Take
truck's
the ramp
supposed
ahead,
to go.
then take the ramp ahead.
I told
Take
them,
the
well,
ramp ahead.
oh, shut up. I told them my truck is supposed to go into the shop, you know, it's supposed to go into the shop on the 17th anyway. So,
Continue
need to
on
get
Road Highway
that load
287.
repowered. All right, but it took them 2 days to. It was actually not until the 17th until they got somebody to come pick up the trailer because this was a live load. It was under reefer. The reefer was running, and they were waiting to see if I was going to get back out. You know, but I kept telling them, no, you need to repower it because you know I have stuff to do to my truck. I can't run my truck like it is. So. Anyways, 2 days later, while I was parked, and the first 2 days, you know, I just did stuff at the house and whatnot, because I was waiting on that guy, waiting on them to send somebody over to, you know, to get the load. And if I started working on my truck, you know, it'd be hard for me to unhook from my trailer while I was doing that. So I didn't want to leave my trailer unhooked because, you know, it was a full load of meat on there. So anyways, that guy came 2 days later to pick it up, left me an empty, and I was cool with that. So yeah, it's a little bit rainy out there, a little bit misty rain is what you're seeing. But yeah, man, I should have washed my windows while I was there. Quick trip. At the QT, I got me one of those breakfast pizzas. They're pretty good, you know. But, you know, I like the QT because of the low fuel price. But, and I did get fuel there. I stayed hooked to that empty trailer, right? But I had to wait on the one guy. Well, anyways, after he picked it up, the next day I started working on my truck because I had to get these codes done first before I did anything else. You know, I mean, why replace a slack adjuster, 2 slack adjusters, your tires, some other stuff? Why do all that if your truck can't even get down the road because it's going to shut down? You know. So, hey, I got that camera high, don't I? Well, at least you can see at the bottom part by the hood. But, I have a new mounting spot. That's my new mounting spot, so I understand that it's a little bit rainy on top, but, I mean, as far as those wiper blades reach, it's right there. I don't like putting it in the middle of the windshield, man. I gotta see, you know. I gotta see what's coming, what's in front of me. But so I started working on my DPF issues. I replaced 3 sensors that I thought it might be, was giving me the code for, and it actually told me, well, it actually could be your differential pressure sensor, you know, which reads the inlet and outlet pressures, and that's on the filter side. So I replaced that. I replaced the actual filter sensors, the hook onto the computer on the filter housing, the filter box, the one I cleaned out on my previous videos. I replaced that, and I replaced those 2. I replaced 3 of them. Right there on that filter thing, that filter housing. I put it back together, did a regen, code still came up. So I went and bought it was also giving me an intake knock sensor, and I was hoping by replacing the inlet and outlet DPF sensor that it would clear, but it didn't. It was the intake knock sensor. So I had to go buy one of those. That one alone was $740 something with a core charge, and it didn't even come with a heat shield. I had to go to the freaking auto parts store and buy some exhaust heat tape to wrap around the wire. It came with a rubber boot on the wire, but not a heat shield. I went back and asked the guy. I said, "Hey, where's my heat shield?" He's like, "Well, all the ones we have, you know, I compared the part number to my old one. My old one had a heat shield on it. I compared the part number to my old one. It was the exact same part. That's just this other one didn't have a heat shield. I don't know if it's a supply problem or what, you know. But I didn't have a heat shield, so I went down to Advanced Auto and got one of those exhaust tape. Got a roll of a small exhaust tape. It's about 1 inch, 2 inches wide. Wrapped it with that, and I got some of that high heat cover. It's kind of like the high heat stuff they use for spark plug wires, but this was rated a little bit higher. And I put that on and put a little bit of tape around that because I had to cut it. It wasn't because that nut on that intake knock sensor. That's a 7/8. So it would fit through. It would fit in the little boot for the heat shield, but I mean you could push it through so far and then it would catch and it wouldn't move anymore. So I had to cut it a few times. I had to put 3 socks on it, but I wrapped those socks in that. After I got those socks on, I wrapped the seams with the exhaust tape. And I'll show all you guys that. Oh, and another thing I had done was what I forgot when I was looking for the sensors that I needed to take off. I noticed that my pipe was broke right by my inlet knock sensor outlet. You know, that screws into your SCR outlet pipe. Well, the SCR box wasn't broke, not the one coming out, but it was the actual exhaust coming out of there that was knew that flange was going out on there because I'd seen it before. But I just tightened the clamp on it and I just tried to run with it, you know, as far as I could because it was still, I could still get it tight with that clamp I had on there. And yeah, I just waiting for it to fail. Now that may have been the cause of my intake knock sensor failing, or not my intake, but my outlet knock sensor failing. I don't know, but I went and priced the part at Peterbilt, and they wanted $400, almost $500 for that pipe. It comes off your SCR box and does like a little L. It does like an L shape. It goes back towards your exhaust, but it's only about 2 feet long, and they wanted $500 for it, plus shipping. And they didn't have any. They didn't have any of them in Texas. The closest one they had, what he told me, was in Rockford, Illinois. You know, so I was like, yeah, that's not even worth it. So I ended up taking the exhaust down to this one truck shop there in town and asked them, I said, hey, can you cut this pipe and put another flange on it? Because this flange broke off of it. And they said, yeah, we can do that. So I was like, cool. So I left it with them. They called me 2 days later, said it's ready. Or actually a day later. I said it was ready. No, it was only $100. They charged me hour and a half labor, I think. About $150. So I was happy with that, you know. I went back to the truck when I got it, and it was kind of a pain in the ass putting it on because I had to, because it had a band clamp on, if you know what I'm talking about. It had the exhaust band clamp on, and I had to cut that band clamp off to get it off there because the bolts were frozen. But putting it back on, you know, those band clamp pipes, when they connect to each other, they're really tight. So I had to kind of get it as close as I could without touching the flange of the SCR and, you know, tap it on there. I had an exhaust clamp, a thick one, that wasn't connected to anything on that pipe, so I just tapped on it to get it started back on the exhaust, and that worked. But then I had to pull the exhaust. I had to put a strap around the exhaust, a ratchet strap, to pull it back just a little bit so it would clear the flange on the SCR. And I kept tapping it. It took a while. I mean, it took forever to get off the old one. But yeah, it took a while to get that new one on. And I finally got it on to where it matched up with the SCR flange. And I put the clamp on it, put the band clamp on, you know, and I was done with that. But I still had these sensor issues because I replaced 3 sensors and it was still giving me the code. So I got the knock sensor, replaced it, cleared it out, but it was still giving me a code. So on the 6th day, I took it up to, that was a Saturday, because Peterbilt was actually their service department. They were open on Saturday, but they couldn't get me in until Monday. The same thing with Freightliner. I asked Freightliner too, and they said, well, it's going to be Monday. I just needed to hook to the computer, because my computer will clear the codes, but you actually need to clear it out of the system. That's what I mean by that. You need to reset. You need to tell the truck computer that your sensors are new, is what it basically does. It tells them that they're new sensors, so reset the parameters. And so I took it up to this one truck place, and that was open on Saturday, fortunately. The guy was really nice. I'm going to start taking my truck there. I've been looking for another mechanic because that one that put in my clutch, if you watch the videos back, you know, he was pretty much a dick when I brought my clutch back to him. Well, my clutch started making noise, right? finally got it back to him, and he says, "Well, you haven't been greasing the throwout bearing. That's why it's making noise." I'm like, no, that's not the fucking throwout bearing. It's doing that. And anyways, he wouldn't honor his warranty. You know, he wouldn't even try to adjust it. So I took it to Petro. Now the Petro there, Petro where I took it, they have some real good techs that, you know, have worked at Peterbilt before. So anyways, that one tech, he said, "I'll look at it." And so he looked at it. He said, he's like, "Yeah, your clutch wasn't adjusted right." He said, "I adjusted it right, and plus you had a bell housing bolt coming out, so I tightened that up." And I was like, "Really? Okay, well, thank you, man. I appreciate it." So I take off. You know, this was months back, right, about the clutch. So I take off on it. Clutch works perfectly fine, and it's still been perfectly fine. I still haven't got an adjustment on it, and that was like 3 months ago. So, bad form on that original mechanic, you know, that put the clutch in, and he didn't even want to look at it because he was just blaming me for not greasing the throwout bearing. I was like, "Whatever, dude, you know, I just won't come back to you anymore. You're gonna be like that, man." There was another, and also, you know, when he put the clutch in, they didn't put the gasket on the shifter rod, you know, that sits on your transmission. So I gave them another gasket, and I said, "Hey, it's leaking up there. I need you to replace this gasket." And they said, okay. And I asked them, I said, "Did you replace the gasket?" They're like, yeah. Well, I get in the truck, and it didn't look like those bolts had been, you know, on top underneath that shifter. No, it didn't look like those bolts on that cover plate have been touched by a bit, you know. So I get down the road because I had a load to get. The transmission's still leaking, so I had to buy another top gasket bolt. I took off the top shifter column cover myself, and you know, the one in the cab and the one underneath the cab, and you know, I had to put it on myself, and it quit leaking after I put it on myself. I don't know if those guys, when they put the transmission back in, when they put the clutch in, they didn't put the gasket on there right, or they just did not replace it. They probably just didn't put it on there right, didn't tighten it down right, didn't get it set right, and it was leaking. But I gave them the new gasket. They kept the new gasket, and they didn't put it on there, because I can't believe they did that twice without, you know, with it leaking twice. So yeah, they kept the gasket and told me they put it on, and they didn't do it. So I put that new one on myself and quit leaking. And then the clutch is working fine because I got it fixed at the Petro. And won't be going back to that mechanic, but I did find this new mechanic during this time off that I actually, he put it up, he hooked it up to his J Pro, right? And we did a force rejig first, and then he reset it. He was able to get the intake knock sensor code to clear, and that was the most important one, because you cannot run with that intake knock sensor code going off, because it will shut down your truck. It will mess your truck up too, because it closes your EGR valve, and you know, it'll derate your truck. So we got that one cleared, and but I still have that second knock sensor, the outlet knock sensor, that needed to be replaced. Now, originally took that outlet knock sensor off. I took it off and I cleaned the sensor. No, I didn't soak it or anything. I just, you know, cleaned it with a wire brush on the outside. But that coat's still coming on. That's the last coat I have to do. But you know, I had this meat load. I already had 7 days off, so I had this meat load. So I thought, well, the intake's fixed, so I'll just do that. Plus, Peterbilt was already closed. But the guy there at that truck place I went to gave me a 411 parts shop in town. So I went there. They were open on Saturday late. So I went there and I had to order the outlet knock sensor, and we got that ordered. Regular mail, you know, it should be in 3 to 5 days. Maybe it'll come in tomorrow. But I got that ordered, and when I get that, I'm going to put that one on, take it back up there. Well, I'll do a regen first. I'll put it on and I'll do a force regen, see if it'll clear. If not, then I'll take it back up there to that shop where they clear it off the computer. You know, just reset the parameters to let them know that the sensors are good. Let the computer know that. That's basically been my last week, you know, and the weeks previous is that I've just been real. So now we're going back. We're going to get a pallet load. Of course, we're getting deadhead miles to pay to come back. I think it's deadhead miles and layover. I think they had that load laid over at the plant for some reason, because I mean it's paying more than deadhead to the truck. It's paying more than deadhead and miles to the truck. But we got that pallet load to get. We've got like a 4-hour deadhead from where we started in Decatur to get it. We'll take it to the plant, and I'll let them guys know about that meat load, you know, going to Kroger, that, you know, they're gonna have to reschedule it or something. But I haven't heard anything back from them as of yet, so we'll see what's going on there. And lo and behold, my planner is going on vacation. So he won't be in for the whole week. I swear they take more vacations at this place than anybody. I wish I could afford to take a vacation every 2 months. That's what's been going on, people. We got some good stuff coming, but we're just not there yet. We'll let you guys know later. Alright? Alright, folks, and one of the things we didn't get around to doing because we were busy dealing with the SCR stuff, those sensors, is the dual revolution light that I have on here. As you can see, it is not working properly compared to the other one. It's got a cracked back housing on it, so we're going to replace it. I've already taken the bolts off, 7mm on the back, Phillips head on the front, and I don't think you need any instructions on how to do that. How to take out 2 bolts and 2 nuts, but we got a new one here. We stopped in Wichita Falls. They have a chrome shop here at the Flying J. Pretty good chrome shop, decent prices. So we bought a light here, and we're going to replace it. And we're going to have to cut those wires. As you can see, they're, you know, I weatherproofed them, so we'll have to cut them and redo them. But we're going to get that done. And just to give you a before and after. Before, and there we go. They're both of them working now. I did screw up though. I cut the fuse with the light. I cut the wire with the light on, the power wire, and it blew my fuse. So I had to find the fuse, which was under my dash. It was pretty easy though. I just got my light. Actually, you know what happened is I left my light tester at home, because while I was doing this, I was cleaning out the truck, trying to get rid of some stuff I never used, you know. So I put it in the pickup, and I forgot to bring my light tester with me. So I had to go back in the Flying J. I got me a light tester and some, he's got some blue flashing lights on his. Check that out. But, yeah, I talked to that dude. He's got, you see that little thing on the back of his trailer? It's a step. He got it from Peterbilt. I asked him when I came back out. I went and got that light tester and some bug fluid for the windshield. I said, hey man, where'd you get that step from the back of your trailer? And he's like, oh, I got it at the Peterbilt in Arizona. I was like, man, I didn't know they made those. That's pretty handy, you know, because they need you to get in the back of the trailer to clean the debris or put load locks in, but they don't provide you with an actual step. They said he got it from Peterbilt. He said, but he screwed it up. He's gonna have to get another one. But that's pretty cool, man. If and when I get my own trailer, I'm gonna get me one of those. But we're gonna build some air up and wipe our hands down. Now that our light is working on the bumper, we are legal Steagles. We're not legal Eagles because I think legal Eagle is a lawyer. So we're not a lawyer, we're legal Steagles. Legal Feagles, I don't know. But we need to get down the road and go get this pallet load before they start the shift change. And I hope that we make it. I kind of doubt we're going to. We're going to have to wait till afterwards. Because it's already almost 10. Yeah, it's going to be 1 or 1:30 before we get there. So they're going to be like, you're going to have to wait. Like, whatever. Still hadn't heard anything from... and I've been on duty this entire time. Damn it. I went off duty when I went in initially to the Flying JD's restaurant. And while I was doing that, you know, I walked over to the Chrome shop. It's just right to the right over there. I walked to the Chrome shop and got that light. And then I pulled over here at the entrance. And that guy beside me's like, oh, man, you pulled right by my truck, man. I'm like, well, there's not a lot of parking in that place. You don't want to be working on your truck in that truck parking lot. You'd get run over. Yeah. We are legal on the bumper lights now. It's one of the things that I wanted to do while I was off, you know, for that week. But because I was messing with that SCR stuff and all those sensors, you know, I didn't have time to.
In 3/4 of a mile, turn left on East Scott Avenue. Turn right on Central Freeway East, then take the ramp on the left.
We can get down the road. It's kind of humid today. Kind of worked up a sweat. It's only 61 degrees. It's nice, but I don't want to keep my window down. I may turn on the air conditioner for a little bit. Road up here was blocked. I wonder if it still is. You had to exit off the highway.
Take the ramp on the left to US 287 North.
I don't think that it is, because if it was, they'd probably have this on-ramp closed right here. Because why would you get on and then have to get back off, you know? We're under here to show you what we had done. When I was off, we had to cut this band clamp off and kind of knock it off. I had to put a ratchet strap on here pull this back so this pipe can clear the flange for the SCR. But the flange on this pipe was broke. Right. It was broken. What I had to do, I took it down to a trunk shop, and they cut it right here, and they put another flange on it right here and re-welded it. See this clamp? This is a flange clamp. It covers both flanges. So yeah, they did a pretty good job. I mean, that's the reason that outlet knock sensor went out. And yeah, they did it perfectly. And you know, I'll put it back on, put the band clamp back on, and tightened it down. Put this on, and that's basically what we were doing while we were off. Besides the freaking just gonna check out everything. Besides the freaking sensors that are in the SCR and the filter, I replaced all of those except that knock sensor, but I have that on order. Anyways, that's what we did. It was a pain in the butt because there's so many bolts on this thing. You know, taking that off, and then you have another brace on the inside that you have to take off, plus all the nuts to your sensors and stuff like that. It's time consuming process. But we got it done. We just have to replace that outlet sensor, but we can just take the top part off of that and get that done. Well, we are here at Lineage in Sunnyvale, Texas, on the east side of Dallas, close to Terrell. And we stopped at the TA to get some reefer fuel, and we made it over here 10 minutes. We made it over here 10 minutes before our appointment, but it took some time to check in because that guard didn't know what he was doing, or he doesn't know what he's doing. Let me flip that around. Yeah, he don't know what he's doing. And that girl in there, they're training her, and the shipping and receiving. She did a pretty good job though. Anyways, we're gonna sit here and try to get loaded and try to get down the road. We'll see how long it takes.